Hey guys, just want to welcome you back for another video. And before I get into May's Dawn and Rachel Creates, I need to let you know ahead of time that unfortunately the video that Dawn had recorded for this month's project got lost when she ran into a technical hairball. She had a bunch of content I think it got corrupted or something. Either way, she was not happy at all. There was a bunch of things that she had gotten done, and this was in there. So unfortunately, it's going to be just my video. I will still do the normal thing. I will link her channel. I will probably add in last year's or the previous set of stash busting videos that we had done for May. I will go ahead and link that one. And in case you've never seen our older stash busting videos, definitely recommend checking that out. It was so much fun. But I don't want to get off too much on a tangent. So I will link Dawn's channel. I will link the previous May's stash bustings that we did a couple years ago, just so you have something to watch of Dawn's. And for this one, we were required to make handmade watercolor paints. It's something that's really fun. If you've never tried making your own handmade paints, I recommend it. One, because it's cost effective, and two, just because it's super, super fun. And the colors that she had made, I was able to get a sneak peek one of the times we were chatting, and they were really, really pretty, the colors that she had made. So she was really sad when she realized she had lost the footage. And then we were going to do the little background page like you see I'm doing here. Then we cut it down into bookmarks. And I believe I got 14 bookmarks altogether. They're kind of the long, narrow ones. I try to maximize how much I could get out of this sheet of paper. I believe it's an 11 by 15 Canson watercolor paper or medium paper, something like that. This is where it's hard to do these voiceovers when I'm not in my craft room. So I will, when I get back, I'm out of town, but when I get back, I will put a breakdown of the stuff that's in there. I'll go through, because I know some of you like to kind of have an idea of what we use. So once I got them cut down into the bookmarks, I made the holes for the quote-unquote tassel. I rounded the edges with a little corner rounder. I did some stamping. I believe I used black ink, but again, I can't remember. But either way, it was going to be brown or black, one of the two. Then I used the Simon Says stamp. It's a gold metallic splatter medium. It's a little thinner. It's not an actual paint. It's kind of a thin, liquidy kind of substance, so it makes it easy to do the splatters. I use those. And then to finish it off, I did these enamel dots. Cannot remember the name of that brand, but it's one I really like. So like I said, when I can get all my information together, I will put it in the description. Then the final thing I did was got some ribbon scraps. I love to raid thrift stores for bundles of ribbon, lace. Sometimes you can get like baggies of pre-cut lace strips, or you can get like rolls of lace. So I just dug through and I found a little baggie from one of my favorite thrift stores here, and just cut off a bunch of strips. I did like an off-white cream color and a light blue were the two that I used. And then to keep them in place, I used twine to tie it off to make sure that it doesn't come out, because it was kind of thick to knot it. They're pretty wide strips of ribbon, so I didn't want to tear anything. So I just came in with the twine to tie it off. I've seen quite a few YouTube creators do that when they're making tags, doing stuff like that. They'll use twine or whatever they have to tie it so the lace or whatever they're using for the tassel doesn't fall out. So I believe that is everything. I did, of course, ink up the edges. And the way that I do the editing, a lot of the times if I'm doing something repetitive, I'll keep the beginning part of that process and then the ending part of that process, like the inking, the trimming the corners or whatever it is that I'm doing, I cut that out just because these videos can be really long. So I don't want to waste time having you guys watch me sit and ink up every single tag when I'm just doing the same thing, like I said. So just a little bit of a behind the scenes on my process, and this is not turning into a very quick voiceover. I'm already 5 minutes in, a little over 5 minutes. So I will try to wrap this up. So again, for May's Dawn and Rachel Creates, it was watercolor tags, and we had to make the watercolor paints from scratch, which I did do. It just wasn't the ones for this project. I had to dip into some older paints that I had made, but it still counts. I'll take it. And it was really fun. It really didn't take long. I think I spent most of the time digging around and finding stuff to put on there what I wanted to decorate it with than actually doing the project. So that was this month for May. And if you are new to the channels, for Dawn and I, for this round of stash busting that we've gotten back into, we put our videos out on the last Saturday of every month, and we are already set on the projects that we're doing. Now through November is the last month that we do projects in, and then we take the break for the Christmas holidays and stuff like that. So like I said, I will link Dawn's channels. She does have two. I will dip into my video history, and I will link the month of May's project that we did in our first round of stash busting a few years ago, so that way you have something to watch. And yeah, I think that was it then for May. So I'm going to tip the rest of this over to music. And once again, I did manage to make 14 watercolor bookmarks for the May Dawn and Rachel Creates. So have fun. Hopefully, as always, this gives you guys some really good inspiration to just get in there, use your stuff up before you go spend any more money on stuff you may already have. So dig, and clear out your craft room, because the more you use up, that means the more you can go and take advantage of the sales to get new stuff. It's all a plan. There's a good strategy there. So, all right, I'm going to sign out now. I'm going to go back to my coffee program, finish waking up. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out. It is so much fun. Dawn, sending love. We'll be back on track. I feel pretty sure you are good to go from the technical cootie bugs. And take care, as always, you guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, just one quick correction. When I got through more of the editing, I realized I had used my scissors to make the tag shapes, to cut the corners off of the top of the tags. It was not my corner rounders, so I do apologize. But this is where it's hard to come back and do the voiceover this far out from when I've actually done the project, because I really have a hard time remembering what exactly I did. So, sorry, just a small correction there. I had used my scissors to cut out the tag shapes, the corners at the tops of the tags. All right, back to the music. If you're interested in some more content, here's a couple videos you might want to check out, and I will catch up with you in the next one.